Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to my presentation. My name is Curtis Keller, and today I'm going to be going over the harsh effects that corruption has had on the newly formed country, Pakistan, and why it should matter to us. To understand the importance of this topic, let's start with the basics. What is corruption? Corruption is defined by Webster's Dictionary as dishonest or illegal behavior, especially by powerful people, such as government officials or police officers, often involving bribery. Basically, corruption in government is when elected officials abuse their power for personal gain rather than the common interest of the entire nation. This can happen in many forms, including widespread political and financial corruption, which occurs when government officials either unfairly distribute funds or retain finances for their personal use. Nepotism, which is the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. The misuse of power, which again means an authority who unrightfully uses power they have for their own personal gain. For example, a boss manipulating an employee with the ability to punish them if they don't comply, but on a larger scale. Bribery or gifts. Bribery is the act of giving or receiving something of value in exchange for some kind of influence or action in return that the recipient would otherwise not alter. Threats. The statement of an intention to inflict pain or cause harm to another person in order to acquire what is wanted. These are just a few of the forms that corruption can take in government. Now that we understand a few of the forms that corruption can have, let's take a look at some of Pakistan's recent history involving corruption. Since the beginning of their declared independence, Pakistan has dealt with corruption in their leaders such as Benazir Bhutto and her husband Asif Ali Zardari and Shehbaz Sharif, as well as other elected presidents and prime ministers. Asif Ali Zardari particularly became well known as Mr. 10% because of a 10% commission charged on developed businesses or loans he used while his wife, Benazir Bhutto, was in office. All these political leaders were tried and found guilty on some kind of corruption-related charges. This has created a status quo of corruption in Pakistani government. As a developing nation, this quality of governance severely cripples its ability to grow economically. Because Pakistan is some of the most densely populated areas in the world, the effects are magnified among the population and have resulted in areas of poverty, with increased unemployment, crime, and murder rates. Although difficult, a few organizations try to recognize these weaknesses in government corruption and expose them with the hopes of fixing them. Transparency International is a company whose stated goal is mentioned in this slide. According to their 2017 country profile, Pakistan is ranked 117th in the Committee of Nations on the scale of corruption-free governance. That's 117 out of 180 nations on this scale. They scored a mere 32 points out of 100. Imagine getting that on your next college final. However, different areas of Pakistan are affected differently by corruption. For example, small businesses are a prime example of corruption as the business owners and leaders mismanage resources. People are affected by this corruption as there are daily power outages. In lower economic classes, corruption is more prevalent, stemming from the idea that those in power are also in need of money and are willing to put ethics aside for their personal well-being. We understand that there is a problem of corruption in Pakistan, so we turn from the question of what is it and why is it happening to how can we stop it. Transparency International, as mentioned before, makes efforts to raise the awareness to citizens of corrupt countries. In addition to this, there are various anti-corruption acts. Under these acts, citizens are able to access any information or record in their province unless the information is sensitive to the security of the state. Citizens then should have a personal incentive to check their leaders and stay informed as to what financial operations are being conducted. The National Accountability Bureau is a federal institution that fights against cases of financial crimes, economy terrorism, and corruption. The National Accountability Bureau is Pakistan's apex anti-corruption organization. It is charged with the responsibility of elimination of corruption through a holistic approach of awareness, prevention, and enforcement. It operates under the National Accountability Ordinance of 1999. With its headquarters at Islamabad and 7 regional offices at Karachi, Lahore, Peshawar, Quetta, Rawalpindi, Multan, and Sikir, it takes cognizance of all offenses falling within the National Accountability Ordinance. These laws and organizations are merely beginning to what must be done. As with any law, it is brought into effect by the people. Through self-awareness of the problem, it is hoped that Pakistani citizens will seek to improve their own government by not supporting corrupt officials and seeking to improve their lifestyles by maintaining honest dealings with others and relaying important information to proper authorities. The effects of these changes will not immediately be seen, as they are setting the foundation for a much greater change. But they have to start somewhere, and only time will tell if they are able to emerge from a developing nation into a successful economic world power. Recognize this guy in the slide? It's Shehbaz Sharif from the earlier slides. Probably not a great guy when it comes to corruption, but he gives one heck of a thumbs up, right? Thank you again for your time for watching this presentation. I hope that what you have been able to learn has broadened your vision of what is going on in Pakistani government and also influences the way you interact with your own government. Here are a few of my sources that I used in this presentation. Again, thank you for your time and have a great day.